That's kind of wrinkly. Hey guys, Blue here. Welcome to Cubeorithms. We have a very big unboxing today. We're gonna have to get creative. Oopsie. Alright everybody, this is the unboxing for the day. That's a lot of 3x3s. I will be depending heavily on the invoice for this order to remember the names of all of these. Holy smokes. None of these cubes exceed the price of $5. All of these are under $5, so we're gonna take a look and see which one's the best, which one is the good one. We'll see what kind of quality you can get. We got all these $30, $50, $1 million 3x3s that exist on the market, but there's also all these cheap ones, and these guys don't get enough attention, or maybe they do. I don't care. I just like 3x3s. This video was sponsored by SpeedCubeShop.com. I got all of these from there, and you guys should too. Okay, this is a lot. We're gonna have to organize, see what kind of order I want to do these in. This might take a second. I'll be right back. All right, so I've gone ahead and organized these out here. So over here, these are a bunch of the ones that just cost $4, and these are the ones that cost $5. Technically $3.95, $4.95, but we'll just say $4 and $5 because nobody cares about nickels. Let's get started. So all of these cubes are probably gonna be pretty similar, so I don't know where the right place to start. Let's start with the Guanlongs. Okay, so we have the Guanlong Plus, and the Guanlong version 3. Let me see, we can look at the bottom. Okay, so Guanlong 3x3, Guanlong Plus, and Guanlong version 3. They're all just $4. Holy macaroni. That's not very much macaroni. We'll start with Guanlong number 1. I like to open up the boxes from the bottom because it just floop. Up at the top, it seems like it's always more difficult. We'll just throw that away. We've got this generic pamphlet and the cube. So a long time ago, back in my day, the Guanlong was like just the standard cheap 3x3 that cheapos used if they were gonna be cheap. It's a little dusty. Let's do some turns. And to no surprise, it's dry. The regular Guanlong always feels like with just a touch of lube, it could be amazing, but it's, I mean, maybe not amazing, just like regular, but it's manageable. Corner cutting. Ooh, whoa, almost 45, exactly 45. Wow. Let's do the Guanlong Plus. And the Guanlong Plus and the regular Guanlong had like the same box, and that made it really confusing until I found out that there's tags on the bottom. Okay, so in here, another same identical generic pamphlet, nobody cares. So the first thing I notice about the Guanlong Plus that the original Guanlong doesn't have is that it has sharpened corners, or sharpened, I don't know. It has like squared off corners, that's the word I'm looking for. It's got squared off corners, it has a more sleek, futuristic design. Let's do some turns. Okay, middle layers are a little stiff. But overall, definitely better than the original. The original just feels dry and held back. This one feels not as dry, maybe just a little bit dry. It actually feels pretty darn fast. U2s with one flick, no problem. Corner cutting. Okay, it's maybe a little bit more stiff than the Guanlong right out of the box. Definitely faster and a better feeling than the original. Let's do the version 3. Inside the version 3, we got the same generic pamphlet. This time the box is a little different because it actually has the 3, so that made it easier to tell. But anyway, okay, so this is the Guanlong version 3, and curious, it doesn't have the rounded off corners. What? Let's try some turns. Whoa! Okay, so much like its predecessor, the version 1 regular Guanlong, it feels a little bit dry. You can feel the pieces moving around, but this one is way faster than either of these two. U2's no problem with one flick. I like turning this. This feels pretty good. It has a very light feeling, and it's pretty cool. Overall first impressions of the Guanlongs. The version 1. It's pretty dry. It kind of feels like it's holding itself back, but it's manageable. Version 2. It has a pretty nice clunky bumpiness. Definitely feels the most unique out of them. It doesn't corner cut as well, and I can feel that in the turns, but it's okay. It's also probably the loudest of them all. Version 3, very quick, very good. And for $4, you can't argue with those results. Let's move on. All right, next up, we got the Kungfu Long one. $4, let's do it. Inside we have a different generic pamphlet, but still just a pamphlet, whatever. This one actually comes with a stand, which that's really cool. It almost blends in with the background. That's a cool stand. And it came in plastic wrap. That is a good unboxing experience. For $4, that's some quality stuff. Now this one is stickerless, which is fine. And it comes with this nice little stand, which looks pretty cool. Let's do some turns. Okay. Corner cutting. Nope, I did not think that was gonna be good. 1 piece is fine, 45 is not fine. This definitely has a very friction-y feeling. It feels pieces moving against each other. There's not a whole lot of anything. Pretty neutral feeling, maybe feels, I guess it doesn't feel dry. Not a whole lot of bumpiness, not a whole lot of scratchiness or smoothness. It feels pretty neutral. I feel like I can turn pretty fast, but I am detecting some bad corner cuts. I'm maybe not quite as impressed with this one as I was with the Guanlongs, but it's still pretty good. Whoopsie. Let's keep moving. Next up, we'll do the Chi Sails. Oh, and we have this one too. So we got the Chi Sail, the Chi Sail W, and the big Chi Sail. Let's do it. We'll start with the normal one. Chi Sail. So the Chi Sail now kind of has a reputation for being pretty good, just a pretty standard, good cube. I know that it's used a lot for modding, and it's a good one. Regular one is $4, the W is $4, and the big one is $5. I forgot to mention that. Let's do some turns on the normal one. So the regular Chi Sail, it definitely has a more snappy, sort of responsive feeling than the other ones have. I'm not getting quite as much friction, but there still is kind of a friction feeling. But overall, so far, we're not doing bad. Like with all these cubes, these are all doing great. Let's open the W for comparison. Same price. Okay, so there's a pretty clear design difference. The center stickers is more of an octagon. It doesn't have rounded off corners, but the centers, I guess, are more circular than on the original. And there's different sticker shades, it looks like. Yeah, there's definitely different sticker shades with more contrast, I guess. Let's do some turns. Okay, so right off the bat, that's actually less responsive than the original. The original one's nice and snappy. This one is less snappy, but I think this one's more smooth. Yeah, I wanna say that the W has more potential to be good if I broke it in and set it up and everything. Like this could be a pretty premium cube. This one kind of feels like it's right at its limit. I mean, it could be better with breaking in and setting up, but I feel like I don't feel a lot more potential with this one. I feel like in time, this one would be better, but right out of the box, it's actually not. It's worse. They also have different logos. That's kind of weird. Let's open the big one. So this is the big sail. It's 60 millimeters. It's not that much bigger than a regular one. It's not like huge, but it's still a little bit interesting. It definitely feels a lot weightier than these ones, and definitely weightier than other big 3x3s that I've used in the past. It feels full and heavy and fat. Let's do some turns, which I already did some. Which, yep, this one feels a lot more like the regular one, which is, of course, I believe they have the same mechanism. Yep, they have the same mechanism, it's just bigger on the bigger one. Overall, the sails are definitely pretty good. Nice and snappy and fast. They have a pretty good presentation to them, and I like them. That's a good one. Moving along, we got the Chi Warrior W, and I feel like I've unboxed this cube like 100 times in different forms on my channel. Chi Warrior W, this is the same as the carbon fiber 3x3, the jelly whatever. It's the, and actually, you know what? As long as we're on the topic of jelly cubes, here's the Chi Warrior W Jelly Edition. This one's $5, just a little more expensive than the $4 regular one, but we'll just get them both out of the way because they're the same puzzle. Regular one, straight out of the box, it feels like it's holding itself up a little bit, but it still feels pretty snappy. It has a subtle clickiness to it. Jelly version feels exactly the same, only it's more jelly-ly. I already know that with breaking in, it is awesome. That's all. We'll do the Mofang Jiaoshi Mei Long 3x3. This is one that I've never had. And first impressions, the box is a little bit gross, but that's okay. So this is the Mei Long. Let's do some turns. Holy smokes! This was one of the $4 cubes. This is awesome. Corner cutting beyond 45 degrees. This corner cuts almost everything. Turns way over 2 per flick. 3 turns in that flick. It just feels effortless to move. It feels super light, but not too light. It still feels pretty stable. The Mei Long is the best budget cube that we've unboxed up until this point, first impression wise. You could definitely get some good times on this. Let's spice things up a little bit with all the mini cubes. So here we have we got the YJ Mini 3.5 millimeter, 4.5, 2, not millimeter, centimeter, 4.5 centimeter, 3.5, and 2 centimeter. We got the Cyclone Boys Mini 3x3. We got the Mofang Jiaoshi 4.5 centimeter and 5 centimeter 3x3s. Let's get into all of them. I'm kind of sad because this is a really big box and a lot of packaging for such a very small puzzle. Sorry, planet Earth. And there's a whole plastic bit. Yikes, that's not a very good impression, especially for people who care about the Earth. Although, maybe slightly better impression is that it's got these really cool keychains for this very little 3x3. Again, a very little plastic bit that's kind of unnecessary. There we go. There we go. There's not even anything extra in here. Cyclone Boys wins the packaging award. It's just this little cardboard box. There's not even a little plastic cover. It's just cardboard. Simple. I like it. Okay, so we got the Mofangs, we got the Cyclone Boys, and we got, dang it, what were they? They say mini bread on them. Look at that, mini bread. But they're the YJ ones. But I'm gonna call them the mini breads, because that's what the box said. We'll start with the Cyclone Boys, because it's the loner. Overall, not bad, not bad. It has pretty bad corner cutting, and it feels kind of squeaky. But it turns pretty effortlessly, and it's too small to use in competition unless you had really, really small hands. But there's better options out there for you. The Mofangs, start with the smaller one. Pretty responsive, pretty good balance between smooth, scratchy, and bumpy, and whatever. Pretty neutral feeling. It maybe feels a little bit restricted. It's holding itself back just a little bit, but not too bad. A little bit of a bigger one. And with the bigger cube, you get a little bit of a bigger boost in quality. It turns a little bit more stably, and it is good. If you had small hands, I'd probably look to some, like if you were like a really small cuber and like it was a really big problem to use normal size. You could look to something like this if you only had $4 to spend. This is definitely viable. And then we got these ones, which they're pillowed and they're small, which is a recipe for it's gonna be hard to solve fast. Okay, they definitely feel more dry, more friction-y, but generally not bad. They're pretty snappy. This one's snappy, but definitely small. And the master of packaging, this thing is tiny. New main for sure. So that's it for the mini ones. They're not terrible. Let's do the Kirin 3x3s. I think that's how you call it. The black Kirin and the other one, which is the version 2. Lighter, smooth, faster. Shouldn't it be smoother? Whatever. It's funny that it's called the black Kurin when it's a stickerless cube. Okay, so this one's actually black. That'll just make it easier to tell. Version 1, version 2, whoop-de-doo. So the version 1 is $4. The version 1 was $4, and this one was $5. Let's see how they compare. Version 1. Okay, so it definitely has that sort of snappiness that you'd get from like a thunderclap. That was definitely, the thunderclap came to mind doing those first turns. It maybe feels a little bit tighter and a little more frictiony. I feel like I keep using that word, but that's just kind of a common theme with budget cubes. You can feel the pieces rubbing together a little more than normal. Corner cutting. A little bit past 45 though, and that's pretty snappy. I like it. Version 2. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's a little slow to start. Holy moly, this is not good. Out of all the cubes I've unboxed today, including all the mini ones, the version 2 is bad. The Kurin version 2 is the worst I've unboxed yet. This just feels very sluggish, very reluctant to turn, corner cutting, not even close. Wow. That's ugly. That was tough. Look at this. This corner cut. That took a lot of force. It feels like it has potential. It feels like with breaking in and some lube and maybe a little bit better tensioning. Yeah, that's really tight. So it could be good, but straight out of the box, it's not. That's disappointing. It also has tiles instead of stickers, which is good. But the version 1, yeah, that just feels like a breath of fresh air. Moving along. We'll spice things up with a fun one. The Dice 3x3. It's amazing what a solid Abraham Lincoln will get you these days. So this one's just kind of fun. It wouldn't be a speed cube. I wonder if this would be competition legal. I don't really see why not, but I think that it would be really dumb and impractical of you to do that. This is the dice cube, and if I'm not mistaken, it's just like a dice, like the orientation of everything. And it has different colors for each side, so that's cool. Do some turns. Okay. I think this feels slightly worse, but I think that's okay because this isn't even meant to be a speed cube at all. What's cool about this one is because of the centers, it's kind of a super cube for some of the parts. You need to make sure it's rotated right. And also, I can think of like a lot of fun games that you could create for yourself with this by like scrambling it up and then using it as a, oh my goodness, the movie recording stopped. Now we're going again. Just scrambling it all up and using this as like a dice, and then you can use a lot bigger numbers. But overall, it's just a fun little interesting kind of Rubik's Cube and good addition to the collection for not very much money. Yeah. We're getting close, guys. We're getting close. Let's do the Guanlong 3x3, which I don't have high hopes for because I've already reviewed this and it's not that good. First turns. Pretty underwhelming. It's a little below the average of today's unboxing. It feels kind of tight, kind of sluggish. The center layers especially feel like they have a lot of resistance. Nothing too special to be seen here, and especially for a $5 cube instead of $4, it's worse than most of the $4 ones. Not recommend. We'll do the MF3RS, which is a very popular one. This is probably the most premium cube you can get for $5. Definitely in terms of like plastic quality, structural integrity, and turning quality. This is a really good one. We're gonna do some actual turns now. I repeat, this is a really good cube for the price. It's probably the most premium you'll get. Corner cuts 45 right out of the box. And it's just generally good. Just like the turning feels premium. This is definitely a viable option. You could use this as a main for probably a very, very long time. It would hold up and it's good. Here's the Yushin Little Magic, another very popular option for people who are looking for a budget cube. This one probably has the weirdest sticker shade. I don't like that the red kind of looks pinkish. It's fine. Turning. It's really fast. This is probably the fastest. Like if the MF3RS is like the highest quality in terms of like stability, and like you drop it, it would be fine. The little magic is good for speed. Corner cutting, really, really good. It can get pretty much everywhere. Especially with breaking in, it can corner cut everything. Another very, very good high quality option for somebody looking for a budget 3x3. Definitely main worthy. Yeah. All right, and then the last one, which this one's not main worthy. This is the Jingi Concave 3x3. So this one is just a concave cube, but oh my goodness, all of the shades look like they're not faded, but they're like desaturated, which is just kind of the look they're going for. You got this kind of pink, very light mint green, this sort of sorbet orange, light blue. Yeah, this is probably the most understated in terms of color. Let's do some turns. Wow, that actually turns really, really good. Other concave cubes I've used in the past have been really, really cheap. This one feels not cheap. It's a bummer concave cubes are not competition legal, because you can definitely see a lot more than on a normal cube. Turning it, you can get a really good grip on it. I actually feel like a regular cube is better just because it's what I'm used to, but this one's pretty good. $5. Wow. Okay, that may be a little bit hard to distinguish. Whatever. And that's it, guys. Those are the cubes. I know that this isn't every single 3x3 available on the market for under $5, but this is at least a good majority of them. Each and every one of these cubes is under $5, and you can pick them up from SpeedCubeShop.com if you use the discount code red versus blue. That helps out my channel quite a bit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'd like to kind of circle back to some of these and pick out some of my favorites. Let me know what your guys' favorites are in the comments so that I can get another opinion besides my own. Most of these were definitely main worthy, and it's very interesting how there's these super expensive cubes, but there's also these really good ones that will definitely get the job done in a very similar way. So if you're a beginner and you maybe just have one 3x3 right now, or you don't have any, get one of these. Don't get some people will give the advice that if you're gonna get a cube, you should get a really good one to make that investment, and then you can just have that one. And like, that's a good point, but these are good ones. And yes, the expensive ones are better, but not by that much, and for reasons that don't really matter to a new cuber. Any of these would be a good option, except for maybe this one, and this one, and where did it go? Maybe this one. Most of these are good options though, and from my response in this video, I hope that that's a little bit helpful. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.